Okay.
Let me start the recording.
Yes. It's on.
Great, thank you. I'd like to go ahead and call the Circleville City Council meeting to order. It is February the 6th, Tuesday at 7:22 PM. Linda, could you do the roll call, please?
Brooks,
Here.
Duvall,
Here.
Paladin,
Here.
Hedges,
Here.
Blitzka,
Here.
Tice.
Here.
If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Council, you should have received a copy of the minutes from the public hearing that was held on January the 16th and City Council. Let's start with the public hearing. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes from the public hearing? Is there a motion to approve? So moved by Katie Hedges, seconded by Terry Tice. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? How about the City Council meeting from that night? Are there any additions or corrections?
I have a correction on page 1, paragraph just before the final, where it reads total rebuild of Walnut, Clinton, and Washington. It should say rebuild of Walnut between Clinton and Washington.
Thank you. And Linda, I believe you sent those out already, didn't you?
Yes.
With his correction. Thank you, Tom, for catching that.
Thank you.
So Tom has caught the amended change, and Linda sent those out earlier. Is that correct, Linda?
Well, I sent them out corrected, but Tom sent me an email. He said it's supposed to be between Clinton and Washington. I didn't have between.
Okay.
So I need to add those and resend them.
Yeah. So no,
Thank you.
Can I approve with those?
you sure can.
Like to approve with those changes.
Okay. Second by Zach Brooks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Great. Thank you very much. At this time, it'd be a chance for council to give reports or committee reports. Do we have any reports tonight? We'll start with Katie Hedges first.
Thank you, President Keller. I have two reports. The first is we had a finance meeting on January 30th. We had 3 pieces of legislation, and I will address those when they come to the agenda later. The second update I have is it was a request from Councilperson Kalitzka that we get a levy update from the PAC. So I wanted to provide an update speaking as a PAC member for the Citizens for a Safer Circleville. Just as a quick recap, we put the levy up in the fall. It did fail. It was a 0.5 levy. It was actually a reduction to 0.4. So it was not a new tax. It was a reduction and it did fail. So due to the severity of what that would mean for the city and the safety forces, we had a very tight turnaround to get that back on the ballot due to an early primary. So we did do that and it will be on the ballot in March. So since then, just a little bit of background, if the levy were to fail again, which again, for those previously who had paid it, it is a reduction, not an increase of what you were previously paying. If it were to fail, it is about a $2 million hit to the city's budget. Per information from the city auditor, it would require the city to cut about 1/3 of the safety forces that we have. With a growing city and obviously several more developments that are slated for the city, that's obviously of great concern to everyone. Additionally, one thing that we've worked on, or that the city has worked on for the past several years, is to get overtime lower, and that's been successful in both departments. If we were to have to lower staffing, obviously the overtime would go back up again, which would present its own budget challenges. So that's kind of a backstory on where we are if the levy were to fail again in March. With the PAC, we have met every Wednesday to come up with different solutions to educate the public around this. From those meetings, we have 4 door-to-doors scheduled. Those are scheduled for February 24th, February 25th, March 16th, and March 17th. We are looking for volunteers to help do that. There is a Sign Up Genius link available. If you are interested, or anyone you know is interested, I'd be happy to get that link out to you, and you can sign up to help. Just as a reminder, this is a PAC. It is separate from the city as well as the administration, so it is open to all members of the public. Anyone who would like to participate, we'd love to have your help. Next, we have on February 29th, the time is still to be determined, but we are having a Safety Forces open house. That will be at Mary Virginia Kreitz Hannon Park in the covered shelter house. We have some really exciting things planned for that evening to kind of showcase both departments. So that will be going on. The meetings, like I said, are every Wednesday. They're at 4:00. So our next one is tomorrow, February 7th. Those are located at 544 Clinton Street. Again, we welcome anybody who wants to come. So tomorrow, again, February 7th, Wednesday at 4:00 is that meeting. We welcome anybody. And just a reminder that the PAC would love for everyone to vote yes for the levy on Tuesday, March 19th.
Great. Very good report. Thank you, Katie. Anyone else? Tom?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. We had held a judicial committee meeting this evening prior to council. We had reviewed a BZA alternate and candidate, and we also have a second candidate coming up on our judicial meeting on the 5th of March. We also reviewed and passed to council for our next meeting on the 20th, an ordinance amending the city's zoning code itself. It's an ongoing thing, but we're kind of clearing a few things up, and so on. So we'll see that at the meeting on the 20th. The other ordinance that was originally on the docket for this evening needed some more attention from homeowners and so on to perhaps move zoning from one to the other. And so that will probably come to us on the 5th. Then the second ordinance on this evening's docket was authorizing Director of Public Service to enter to a land lease agreement with Singular to build a cell tower next to our municipal building on Franklin Street itself. That ordinance has been tabled. However, we expect to bring it back to our meeting on the 5th and open it up again to any of us within the city and also to the community. And we hope to have some additional information and perhaps presenters for the meeting on the 5th of March. And that's it, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have a report? Jeff Hallinan, Safety Committee Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had a safety committee meeting prior to council at 6:15 where we had one piece of legislation which will be moved forward to council on February the 20th.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? I'd like to report that we have our 2023 City Council report. Thank you, Linda, for compiling the data and information. Council met, had several different committee meetings, 24 council meetings, 6 public hearings, 7 committees as a whole, 6 public service, 5 strategic planning, 12 finance committee, 5 safety committee, 10 judicial, for a total of 75 meetings. And our attendance rate was 91.2%. So thank all of you for attending those meetings. The overall total budget for the city last year, 2023, was $41,395,383.64. This is a part of our required reports, and Linda will add that under communications, and we'll file that report. Secondly, I'd like to announce a committees of the whole meeting on February the 13th, next Tuesday, 6 o'clock here in council chambers. The topic items will be first to discuss the ARPA project of the East and West Main Street tree sidewalk concrete improvements like we did on Court Street. The Director of Public Service has the quotes for that work. So we want to review that by the committee with the potential use of ARPA funds to complete that project as we did on the North and South Court Street project. Also, we have an applicant for the Lease Oversight Committee, and we'll consider that application as well. Okay. Reports of city officials that are here tonight as council guests. We have the auditor, mayor, and law director. Do any of you have a report?
I do know.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
Thank you, President Keller. Obviously, last meeting, I did give my end of the 2023 year report on behalf of outgoing law director, Mr. Kenworthy. Obviously, I've met with a lot of faces the last, I was told earlier, 37 days. But just to kind of give a progress of my office, and kudos to the aid of my assistant law director and support staff. My office over the last 30 days has closed 145 circlable municipal court cases. So aside from doing any of the other city activities, advisements and things like that, we are also running the prosecution of that docket. So wanted to call that to council's attention because it's not something you see every day. So we will continue to strive to make improvements in those areas and then obviously address council and aid the city in further legal issues.
Thank you very much. Michelle Blanton, Mayor, do you have a report?
Thanks. Yes, President Keller, I do. Council members and the clerk should have received the annual reports from city departments. Inside your folders, you'll see a report from the Circleville Police Department, Circleville Fire Department, the Department of Public Services, Utilities, the Circleville Civil Service Commission, and the HR 2023 year-end report. If you have any questions about any of those, I won't go through all of them. I did want to highlight, though, the Department of Public Services. You, as council, have allocated a lot of money for some projects for both the service and the utility departments. And if you read through, make sure that you read through all of these reports, but look at the amount of ongoing projects and other things that are going on. This gives you a very, very detailed list of the things that the service department has done and works daily to do on behalf of the city for the citizens. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. In addition to that, just wanted to report to council. We have the administration has continued to meet with developers, partners, other constituents on behalf of the city and the agreements and contracts that you have already put forth. And so happy to be here, happy to work in this capacity and look forward to continue working together for this term.
Thank you, Mayor. Does council have any questions for the elected officials that are here tonight? No? Great. Thank you for being here. This time, would anybody like to address city council? This is the public participation portion of our meeting. You have to come to the podium, give us your name and your address. You have up to 5 minutes to speak, and the clerk will keep track of your time. So would anybody like to speak tonight? Richie, come on up. Give us your name and your address, please.
Richie Vito, 206 South Court Street, Chairman of the Historical Review Board. Just here to give an update to council. New year. This year we elected at our last meeting chair and vice chair. I was reelected as chair again, and Jessica Calderon as vice chair. Working on many things. We're putting together a packet to go be presented with the chamber and with Uptown Circleville for about the regulations and the rules set forth with the Historical Review Board so that property owners and businesses are aware of what they need to do to when they're doing different changes and whatnot, either to their storefronts or signage and things like that. So trying to keep the communication lines open and everybody understand what's going on and stay more up to date and keep things going. We've had a bunch of applications this year. Once the weather warms up, we'll finish putting our inventory of photos together. We'll have that all together online for all board members and council have access to, so we can, when the property comes up, you'll be able to see the different historical features of each property and all that as well. So a lot of things taking place and new year, and we have a great board members on our board. And thank you.
Thank you for being proactive with those properties and businesses with what things are going to do going forward. Thanks for your volunteerism and being chair of the board.
Thank you.
Yeah.
President Keller, if I may just add two more things
Yes.
to the report. Two initiatives that city council members might be want to know about. We are working with a local business for city branded apparel for our employees and for council. So be on the lookout for that. And then the other thing was, I'll think of it and I'm sorry. Oh, website. Yes. Thank you. Today we've had 2 meetings in the last 2 days, 2 weeks about the website, the city website, and how we could better utilize it to get some traffic there, to also communicate through the website more, and also through the city's social media sites. So members from across the city in multiple departments, Ms. Tice was gracious to join us today as the chair of the Strategic Planning Committee, which is over IT. And we had a great meeting today, had some questions answered about the website, about our web developer and what that agreement is like and what services they provide, so that we can continue to provide the website services and provide other services to the citizens using the website.
Great, thank you. I thought you was going to say the second thing was today's Katie's birthday.
Oh, today's Katie's birthday.
Thank you. Thank
Happy
you.
birthday, happy
Just
birthday.
kidding. Linda, do you have any communications this
Yes,
evening?
I do, sir. The clerk submitted the 2023 annual report for council, and that will be posted on the city's website. And our treasurer has her year-end annual report, and this was emailed to all of council members. And that's the only 2 things I have.
Also, we have the mayor's report that she just issued to us as well.
Yes, you are correct. In the mayor's report, she submitted that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can I have a motion, council, to put those 3 reports and place them on file? So moved by Tom Klitschko, seconded by Jeff Hallinan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? It will be placed on file. That brings us to the business portion of tonight's meeting. We have a few ordinances for first reading. So Linda, if you'd like to go right ahead.
An ordinance amending ordinance numbers 0965, 2015, 0212, 2010, 1173, 2018, and 1076, 2022, implementing a uniform compensation system for the non-bargaining unit positions of the city of Circleville and declaring emergency.
Council, you've heard the first reading of this ordinance that originated from the Finance Committee. Katie?
Thank you, President Keller. So as the title reads, this is again for the non-bargaining employees of the city of Circleville. It does include a 2024 rate increase of 4.5% that will be effective January 1st of 2024. It is important to note that the auditor stated during the finance meeting last week that he actually budgeted 5% in his budget that was presented previously. So this is under what he previously budgeted, coming in again at 4.5%. So it did come out of the committee with a recommendation for passage.
Great, thank you very much. Is there any other questions or comments? If not,
Motion to suspend the rules?
motion to suspend council rules by Jeff Hallinan, seconded by Tom Duval. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend council's rules.
Brooks,
Yes.
Duval,
Yes.
Hallinan,
Yes.
Hedges,
Yes.
Pliska,
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Council, the rules have been suspended. You're free to act on the ordinance.
Motion for passage?
Motion for passage by Jeff Hallinan, seconded by Zach Brooks. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Duval,
Yes.
Hallinan,
Yes.
Hedges,
Yes.
Pliska,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Ordinance passes.
Ordinance number 0211, 2024. An ordinance amending the annual appropriation ordinance and the general fund 101, park improvement debt issuance fund 252, COVID-related federal grant fund 257, and municipal court CCA grant 2324 fund 260 of the city of Circleville.
Council, for the first reading of this ordinance, again from the Finance Committee. Katie?
Thank you, President Keller. Again, this was discussed last week at the finance meeting. It is just appropriating different funds to different accounts. Some of the highlights included there is a portion that reduces the general fund. It's a moving for personnel position that currently exists to the general fund. It includes a contract services that's previously been discussed as well. That was by the previous administration. There is a reduction in the park improvements of about $27,000. This also came from finance for a recommendation for passage, and the auditor's here as well if anyone has any specific questions on the line items.
Great, thank you very much. Anybody have any questions? Is there a motion?
Motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Katie Hedges, seconded by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend the rules.
Halliday,
Yes.
Hedges,
Yes.
Klitschko,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Council rules have been suspended.
Motion for passage.
Motion for passage by Katie Hedges, seconded by Tom Klitschko. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Hedges,
Yes.
Klitschko,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Duval,
Yes.
Halliday.
Yes.
The ordinance passes.
Ordinance number 0212, 2024. The last one is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a grievances arbitration settlement agreement with the city employee and declaring emergency.
Council, you've heard the first reading of this ordinance from the Finance Committee. Katie?
Thank you, President Keller. This is the last thing that came out of our meeting. Again, it is to authorize the mayor to enter into a grievance or arbitration settlement. This was a settlement from a previous employee of the city, and the specifics of that are outlined as well. So it also came from a recommendation from the committee, although all of council was present for the discussion. So we did recommend a passage tonight.
Questions or comments? Is there a motion? Motion to suspend the rules by Katie Hedges, seconded by Jeff Hallinan. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend the rules.
Klitschko,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Duval,
Yes.
Halliday,
Yes.
Hedges.
Yes.
Council rules are suspended. Motion for passage by Sherry Tice, seconded by Katie Hedges. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Tice,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Duval,
Yes.
Halliday,
Yes.
Hedges,
Yes.
Klitschko.
Yes.
The ordinance passes.
Ordinance number 0213, 2024. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you very much. That brings us to the new business portion of tonight's meeting. First, I'd like to announce that we have to have a representative serve on the PICA board, and that representative is going to be Sherry Tice. Sherry has volunteered to serve on that board. She has met with the director to understand the roles and responsibilities, and I'll be sending that letter to the PICA board tomorrow, appointing Sherry Tice. That's filling the vacancy that Michelle Blanton had. So, Sherry, thank you for doing that. Congratulations. Also, we have a guest tonight. Mr. Mike Sharon is here, our EMA director. He has passed out some information for you to review. I also sent some email information to the clerk this morning. She sent that later this afternoon that spells out some of the things that Mike's going to talk about so that you have that in your emails. But Mike, please come to the podium and introduce yourself and go right ahead.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Again, my name is Mike Sharon. I'm the new director of the Pickaway County Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency. So I came tonight for a few reasons. One is to kind of give you a general briefing about some things that are happening within our agency and within the county in general, and then to address a couple of specific items. So I want to start first with some training things that we've got coming up here in Pickaway County. March 9th, we're having a railroad rail car emergencies class. This is funded from a grant from the Public Utilities Commission and will be hosted by Pickaway Township Fire Department, but all agencies are welcome to attend. We're a little over a year out from East Palestine's train derailment, so this was one of the things that we identified was a need, and we were able to bring this training to town. So we're excited about that. Law enforcement, fire, if any of you would like to come and sit through it, you are absolutely welcome to do so. The LEPC will be providing lunch, so it should be a very informative day. Another risk that we've identified is lithium-ion batteries. So I know that sounds a little strange, but everything from vape pens to cell phones to those little electric scooters to Teslas to Tesla battery walls and houses are all lithium-ion batteries. We found a company called Bad Day Training and Consulting from Northeast Ohio who has put together a rather spectacular 4-hour awareness course on this topic. The LEPC, again, is funding that course. 4 sessions of it. The dates and locations are listed in the information I gave you. The third thing that we've identified as a need in the county is some training on critical injury care and rescue task force. What that means is for anyone who is bleeding profusely from whatever injury it may be, gunshot, knife wound, tractor accident, car crash, so on and so forth, no matter how you're bleeding, the techniques that we use to stop that are pretty consistent. But when you integrate that conversation with an active shooter, that's when we've come up with this new national curriculum on rescue task force. So that is where we're integrating fire and EMS personnel with law enforcement so they can enter more quickly a dangerous situation, reach victims, and do things to make that less fatal. This little black bag that I brought up to the podium with me tonight goes along with that. This is under the equipment section in your report. This is one of the bleeding control bags. Circleville Fire is going to receive 5 of these this week, along with many of the other departments in the county. This was jointly funded from the Healthcare Coalition to the tune of about $13,750 for the whole county. About $1,500 of that is coming to the city of Circleville. In the front of the bag are some new, what they call Olays bandages, which allow you to pack a wound that has been created from a knife wound or a gun wound. There are tourniquets on the end. Inside the bag are chest seals and needle decompression needles, so we can take care of chest wounds, a light, some other packing gauze, some other regular gauze, things like that. So it's an added capability, an added bit of equipment that we will add to your safety forces so that they will be in a better position to respond if they need to. Okay, moving on to other interesting things. Our LEPC will be holding its annual exercise. This is going to be a functional exercise down at DuPont, simulating a chemical release, exposing employees and visitors at the facility. A scenario that we had to add some artificialities to make believable. Just because they have really good process safety things down there, it's not likely to ever actually happen, but it's a good training op. So March 9th, it is an opportunity to test our EMS response, the hospital's response, our office at the Emergency Operations Center, and a little bit about public information so that we can coordinate with our friends like Stephen here to get the word out and inform the public. Our county hazmat plan is one of the documents that we use to describe how we would respond to a hazmat incident that were to occur in the county. That document is up for review this year, so if anyone would like to see a copy of it and have an opportunity to review it, be happy to share that with you so you can see that and provide comments. So this is going to be kind of a dark topic, the next one, pun intended. Solar eclipse on April 8th. So we've been looking at the local projections that are being provided to us based on how people have migrated, if you will, to see a solar eclipse when it happened in 2017. The projections for Pickaway County are that we're going to see an influx of about 30,000 additional people. Think about that for a second. That's a 150% increase in population for a period of about 4 days. So we are in the throes of planning for that. We're working with the health department to get some information out to our, where'd it go? Right there. To our food retailers and our fuel centers to make sure that they're prepared, that they have extra things on hand so that they can service that population that's coming through town. We're working with the schools meeting with them on Thursday to talk about the superintendents, to talk about what the school's going to do that day. I'm already told that Tays Valley is probably going to dismiss early a couple of hours in order to get students home and out of the way. The area of totality for the solar eclipse, meaning the area where the sun will be completely 100% blocked, is northwest of Columbus. People think, oh, well, totality's up there, so no big deal down here, except that we're expected to have about a 98.6% blockage of the sun in the middle of the afternoon. So it's not going to be totality, but it's going to be pretty dark for a few minutes. So somewhere, the whole eclipse is going to take about 2 hours or so. So as the sun gets completely covered and then releases again on the other side, that whole event is going to be a couple of hours worth of time. So just so you know, we're bringing that up to everybody because not everybody's quite bought their solar eclipse glasses yet, and I'd hate for you to not be able to get a pair. So there's that. Okay. So the information that I emailed Mr. Keller and Mayor Blanton late last night is about our County 911 Committee. The General Assembly last summer passed some new legislation to amend the composition of the County 911 Committee. Historically, it has been made up of 3 members. The mayor from the most populous municipality, the township trustee from the most populous township in the county, and someone from the Board of Commissioners. They've added 3 new positions to double the size of the committee. That is now going to include a representative township trustee to represent all of the other township trustees, an additional elected official at the county level, and someone to represent the legislative bodies of the municipalities in the county. So that's the county, the city council, the village councils, and all of the other municipalities in town. As I mentioned, Mayor Blanton is already on the committee. We've had 2 village council members who have volunteered to serve on that committee. Tom Ramsey from South Bloomfield and Eric Nungester from Commercial Point. I asked for bios from both of them so I could share their backgrounds with you. I received only one from Tom Ramsey. So I don't really have a whole lot to share with you about Eric Nungester other than he's new on Commercial Points Council, and I just didn't get much additional from him. When I leave tonight, I'm really hoping to have a piece of resolution from you all appointing one of those 2 individuals to the 911 committee on your behalf so that we can get that committee up and functional because it needs to meet sooner than later. Hazard mitigation plan. Every 5 years, FEMA requires the county and cooperation with all of the local governments to develop a hazard mitigation plan. So what that looks at is all of the natural disasters that could affect the county and areas that we already know are having trouble, areas that we already know are flooding or subject to high winds, pick your natural disaster. And then from that, what the risk assessment is and what kind of money we need to resolve those issues in the future. So the hazard mitigation plan drives the federal funding for hazard mitigation grants. So just put that on your radar. I will be coming back to see you again to schedule some additional fact-finding sessions to hear from the city what the concerns you have are so that we can incorporate those into the hazard mitigation plan. All right, finally, I'm going to go back into doom and gloom for a minute. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, yep, say that 5 times fast, CISA is what they go by, has a group of cybersecurity advisors who are in every state in the country. We are fortunate to have 3 of them here in Ohio. One of the things that they do free of charge is cybersecurity and physical security assessments to ensure that your utilities and your city services are as well protected as you can be from ransomware and other hacking attempts. We've done this now with the county. We walked away with a few, bucket list of items to keep working on. We've done this now with the Village of Asheville. We went over and talked last night to the Village of Williamsport and South Bloomfield as well, and Commercial Point. So the issue at hand, and you may have seen news reports about this in the last 48 hours or so, there are nation-state actors who are trying their best to infiltrate our water and wastewater utility systems in order to be able to disrupt those systems and create panic and chaos in the United States while they're doing other things in other parts of the world. Our goal is to get every local government in the county to sit through this cybersecurity assessment and make sure that we are as well protected here as we can be. So just for fun, imagine, I'm not sure that's fun, let me say that differently. Imagine for just a moment that for the next 3 weeks, you have no access to your computers.
Oh.
Exactly. Okay. PICA experienced that last fall. They had a ransomware attack and they were locked out of their computer systems for 3 weeks. Okay. That was a resolved expeditiously event. So it is not uncommon for those to drag on for much longer than that. So what we're discovering is across the county that there are some systems that could be put in place with relatively low cost and relatively efficiently that would up the level of cybersecurity here in short order. So Mayor Blanton, I'd like to get with you sometime this week and get that scheduled. Ms. Theis, I think you were on the IT. Did I hear something about that a minute ago? Okay. So maybe it would be valuable for you to sit through that as well. Questions, comments, concerns for me?
So Mike, thank you for being here and thank
Sure.
you for a detailed report. Mike reached out yesterday about coming tonight. And one of the reasons is the timing of this appointment, because other villages and government bodies are making these appointments to get this board up and running. And I know he
Correct.
said he's already been to some. And that's why tonight he's hoping to come away with an appointment. And I talked to Mike today, and you have a recommendation of the two candidates, one of the two?
I'm a little remiss to make a formal recommendation other than to tell you that I asked for their information so I could share it with you so you could make a more informed decision. Only one of the two applicants provided that information, so.
Okay, and that was Mr. Ramsey. So council, when Mike's finished his report under new business, I'd like to see us making a motion to appoint and move forward with that so he can get this board populated. And up.
That would be terrific.
As far as the cyber attack, as you mentioned, work with Michelle or Mayor Blanton and her administration. We have an IT person that's employed by the city, get him engaged as well to run through that exercise. So that we're trying to be as prepared as we can.
Great.
Yeah. Other questions that council may have for Mike?
Good information. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here, Mike. Appreciate it. Yes, Michelle?
Can you talk about the class that we're going to have on Saturday?
Absolutely. So there is a course, it's titled G402, really super exciting government nomenclature there. It is a incident command and national incident management system for elected and senior officials. So the idea is that your law enforcement and fire and EMS folks in public safety, we all kind of understand and live and breathe the incident command system and the national incident management system framework. You all as elected officials have a role to play in a disaster. And usually what that entails is working within what we call the policy group to set policy, set priorities, provide funding to do things like that to help that disaster response happen. So the training that we're going to do this Saturday is all about helping Michelle understand what her role is going to be should a disaster occur and affect the city of Circleville.
Very good. Have fun.
Thanks.
Any other questions for Mike?
Hopefully we'll never need to use that.
Sure.
That's right. That's correct. Okay. Mike, again, thank you for the information. We appreciate you being here. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
So based upon his recommendation and request, do I have a motion for an appointment representing the government legislative bodies for the 911 committee?
I'll make a motion to appoint Mr. Ramsey to the 911 committee.
Thank you, Zach. Seconded by Tom Klitzka. Linda, could you do a roll call on that?
Brooks,
Yes.
Duvall,
Yes.
Hallidan,
Yes.
Hedges.
Absent.
Oh, that's right. Klitska,
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much, Tom Ramsey. Council, do you have anything else under new business tonight before we adjourn? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
So moved by Jeff Hallinan, seconded by Zach Brooks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The meeting is adjourned at 8:03 PM. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.